ESPN's Rich Cimini with Armen and Levack. He's got the scoop on the Jets. 4 o'clock trade deadline, Rich. Are the Jets going to do anything for quarterback?
Yeah, I think they're definitely exploring trade possibilities. I don't know. It's hard to do a trade during the season, so I'm not sure how it would go. I think there's more of a chance they'll sign a free agent.
Is quarterback the only target they would possibly have, or is there any chance there'll be buyers anywhere else in the market?
Well, they have other needs, but it's not like they're desperate. I think at tight ends, if they could find a pass catching tight end. I mean, you've seen Vernon Davis gets traded to Denver. Might have been a possibility for the Jets, but I'd be surprised if they made a trade. If it were anything, I think it would be a quarterback.
If Jets go free agent quarterback, what are some names out there that would be interesting, like you said, at this point of the year?
The obvious guy, if they want to bring back Matt Flynn, they had him at training camp for 3 weeks, and after Geno got hurt. So he at least has a basic understanding of their system. He hasn't played football in quite some time, so that's the downside. Flynn is a guy who I think could be a possibility. I mean, there's a bunch of those guys floating out about there, but it's really hard to find a quality player at this point.
Rich, what about the in-house guys? Any news on Fitzpatrick? Any news on Geno's shoulder? Any of that?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to practice tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting practice because they have so many injuries, and they also have to get Bryce Petty ready. So I think Fitzpatrick could try to. The issue with him is going to be taking the snaps. Because it could be a pain tolerance thing. You can't be in shotgun every play, so he's going to have to see if he can take a snap with his left thumb hurting. So that'll be the key thing. And with Geno, I think there's a chance he could play. It's a badly bruised left shoulder, so I think he could get out there and play. So there's just a lot of questions right now for the Jets.
ESPN's Rich Cimini with Armen and Levack. So as of today, Rich, your best guess at who is the starting quarterback for the Jets on Sunday?
I really can't even say. I mean, it's really so hard. I mean, if you ask me after practice tomorrow, I'd have a much better idea. I think it could be any one of the 3 guys. It could be even Bryce Petty, the rookie. So it's just really hard to say.
Are they doing their best to keep Petty off the field?
No, I mean, they don't want to rush him in there. I mean, unless they have to. He's not ready to play. I mean, he's a rookie, came from a totally different offense at Baylor. He seems like he's a smart guy. He's a confident guy. There's no doubt about that. And played a lot in preseason, got some good experience, but they'd rather not have to play him. He's never taken a snap in a game before, and so that would be extremely difficult.
How much weight do the Jets put in Geno Smith's disappointing performance last Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know if it was disappointing. I mean, I don't think they feel that way about it. I just think they were. It wasn't great, that's for sure. I mean, I think he had the one turnover, which was a poor throw. I think his pocket presence was highly questionable. He took some hits. He was holding the ball a little bit too long. But the guy hadn't played a football game in 11 months. Remember, he didn't have any preseason work because of the jaw injury. So he hadn't played until, since late last December. So there was going to be some rust. I think that's for sure. And but if you're asking me, do they want to go forward with Geno Smith? I don't think they do. I mean, I think they'd rather have Ryan Fitzpatrick. Maybe even a one-handed Ryan Fitzpatrick. They think would be better than a two-handed Geno Smith. So if they go to Geno, they'll say all the right things and how they have confidence in him. But I don't think they truly do.
Rich, why can't Geno get it together?
Well, because he's not a good quarterback. I mean, he's got a lot of physical talent. He throws the ball. I mean, if you could somehow perform a surgery and take his right arm and put it on Ryan Fitzpatrick's body, I mean, Ryan would be a really good quarterback. An elite quarterback, because Geno does have a good arm and he is a good athlete, and I think he's tough enough. It's just that his other intangibles leave a lot to be desired. His decision making, his instincts, his pocket presence, those are all below average areas for him, and those are the most important areas for a quarterback. So that's why he's been prone to some really bad turnovers during his 2 years.
All right, Rich, I'm fully prepared for you to laugh at me when I ask you, is there any chance the Jets move one of those big defensive linemen today?
No, I wouldn't laugh at you for that. I mean, but no. The answer is no.
See, you're laughing.
They could. I mean, it would be pointless. I mean, who are you going? What are you going to get back in return? I mean, if they're going to get Aaron Rodgers in return, then sign me up. I mean, they're going to trade Mo Wilkerson, for an Aaron Rodgers package. Then yeah, but all they're going to get back is a draft pick, and the draft pick is not going to help them now. And Wilkerson is going to be here. He's their best defensive player right now. He's having a good year, and there's no point in trading him. And the other guys are under contract, and Harrison's going to be a free agent anyway. So you really wouldn't want to trade him. So no, they're not going to trade any defensive linemen.
ESPN New York's Rich Cimini with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. Read his stuff, ESPNNewYork.com, at Rich Cimini on Twitter. Rich, is there any fear from the Jets that their defense has been figured out with the way that they were worked on Sunday against the Raiders?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a legitimate concern. I mean, it's one thing to lose to Tom Brady. I mean, like everybody loses to Brady and the Patriots. So, and they actually played decent for 3 quarters against Brady, and it fell apart in the fourth. But against Derek Carr and the Raiders, that was just a 4-quarter debacle by their defense. And I think most of the issues were tackling. They had 19 missed tackles in the game, which is just an obscene amount of missed tackles. And but yeah, I mean, I think the Raiders had a really good plan for handling the Jets blitzing, and it was not a factor at all for them. So I think the Jets have to probably change up some tendencies this week and figure out what they're doing and what they need to do better.
Rich, as I look forward to this matchup against the Jags, I kind of feel sorry for them. I feel like the Jets are going to take out some aggression on them.
Yeah, you would think this would be the opportunity. The Jaguars are struggling. I mean, I know they won their last game in London, coming off a bye week, but they are 2-5. Blake Bortles is, he's up and down as a quarterback. They got some injuries at receiver. You would think that the Jets would kind of take out their anger on the Jaguars. I mean, listening to David Harris yesterday, talking to reporters, I mean, he was pretty adamant, and David's a pretty quiet guy, but he was pretty adamant that they are not going to have a repeat of last week's defensive performance.
He's Rich Cimini, ESPN NFL Nation reporter at ESPNNewYork.com. Read his stuff every day like Levack and I do, at Rich Cimini on Twitter. Rich, it's a crazy NFL deadline day. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with us.
You're welcome, guys. Take care.